What up, nation? CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. And I represent the WiseTake Nation, which you can find over at WiseTake.com or on Twitter at Wise_Take. Today we've got NFL Week 6 to break down. This is pretty much my first look. I spent a couple minutes just kind of looking over things, so I'm not sitting here with my you-know-what in my hands while I'm talking to y'all. Week 5 was extremely chalky. It's a little bit different this week already. You'll see what I mean as we kind of go through the pricing. Some of the guys that were cheap last week are now priced up. For instance, Will Fuller is now he was $4,500 on DraftKings last week. He's like $6K or something now. Thomas was $66. Michael Thomas, that is. He's now like $7-8 or something. So, yeah, they did adjust the pricing. We've only got 10 games, so it's not as massive of a slate. And I think it's pretty good. It's good because I think that people are going to be somewhat spread out in certain situations. Obviously, it's Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern, so a lot of this stuff, we may get more news that breaks out as we get closer to Sunday, and that could change a lot. As a matter of fact, we are going to get some news because there's a lot of people that are already questionable that are pretty key. Before we go ahead and dig in this, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the WiseTake Nation. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Hit the notifications bell so you're notified whenever we do put out any DFS content. We cover multiple sports on this channel, as well as at WiseTake.com, the home of the WiseTake Nation. So make sure you hit the notifications bell so you're notified. We do a lot of NFL videos, and of course we do NBA content, which we will be doing, I think, Monday through Friday when the regular season starts. And for those of you that do love the NBA that much and can't get enough, like us, we've been doing preseason content. I've been throwing together articles over at WiseTake.com. We did it for free yesterday. We'll do a couple more for free before we put up that paywall. We do have a sale going on for NBA DFS, so I'll give you guys more information on that later. In the meantime, I'm going to be very forward with you guys. I've been trying to give away a month of content. I've been trying to give away a month of free WiseTake access, all access, Slack chat, everything. And we can't hit the goal, right? I'm trying to hit 75 likes on a video. We did it once for 50. Unfortunately, we didn't have a winner that day, but we did it once for 50. We got to get to 75. And this video has a lot of time. Now, I understand there's a lot of competition out there and whatnot, but you guys need to hit the like button. Even if you don't want to win this, you're taking away from the others who do. So do me a favor. Hit the like button. We need to get 75 likes. I will be doing a giveaway again. It's going to be 1 month of WiseTake access, all access, Slack, all sports, everything, and a WiseTake t-shirt, black t-shirt. So you're going to have to like the video. You're going to have to leave a comment. I'll tell you guys what the contest is, what you're commenting at the end of the show. In the meantime, let's go ahead and break in to week 6 here. So first off, looking at quarterbacks, Pat Mahomes has a Q tag. Said he'll get treatment on his thing. I highly doubt he misses anything. I just can't see it. But it is worth noting he didn't look great in his last game with that ankle injury. Granted, he was missing, Watkins, which is come on. I mean, the guy already is without, Tyreek Hill. So maybe he got a little shook. Plus, they couldn't stop the run, and so yeah. Anyway. But yeah, in tournaments, I'll always get some high total game. We saw Houston and Atlanta shootout last week. Definitely think you should get some Mahomes in tournaments. Lamar Jackson against Cincinnati is kind of interesting. Jackson played a decent defense for the first time this year. It wasn't terrible, but definitely wasn't as efficient as you'd expect. Throwing the ball actually wasn't very good, but running the ball, that's the beauty of Lamar Jackson, at least on DraftKings, is the rushing upside. 14 attempts, 70 yards. If he would have gotten to the end zone, he would have salvaged his day. Always in play, especially this week. He's at home against Cincinnati, another cupcake matchup. We saw in weeks 1 and 2 in cupcake matchups, he dominated. So looks like a pretty good week to play some Lamar Jackson, although I do think there's a couple people you could look at on that team. Watson, coming off a ceiling game. I'm cool with it. But quarterbacks haven't really been doing the dirty to Kansas City. They're so bad against the run. And they've been not good against the pass, but they haven't been as bad, I think, as... or at least in times that I've attacked their games. I haven't really had the benefit of, winning when I play receivers against them. Lamar Jackson, they ended up having success running the ball. They're run funneling. Even with last night with, what's his name? Jacoby Brissett. They were just running the ball. They couldn't stop Marlon Mack, Hines, or any of those guys. So Watson certainly in play, but 6'7", he's getting close to Lamar Jackson. He's up there. I'm cool with it. Russell Wilson 66 against Cleveland. Cleveland did not look good today, but it was really their offense that didn't look good. It's not even so much. They didn't have a chance to breathe. The 49ers pass rush is legit. The 49ers defense is pretty good. Russell Wilson in play, sure. Kyler Murray, 6,500 against Atlanta. He's starting to run now. Ran for 93 yards against Cincinnati. That salvaged his day because he didn't break 300 yards and he didn't throw for a touchdown. Touchdown regression's got to come to this kid at some point, right? He's got 4 touchdowns in 5 weeks. Which just doesn't sound terrible when you say it like that, but there's 3 games where he didn't score any, at least passing. He did have a couple rushing touchdowns. One against Seattle, one against Cincinnati. Against Atlanta, a team that Watson just did the dirty to. He's at home. Very much in play at 6,500. This could be the week. Atlanta's defense has been soft. Matt Ryan looks pretty juicy, right? Had a good game last week. Was kind of overlooked and overshadowed because Watson in that same game did so much more. But 6,400, the price is up on Matt Ryan now, who's been consistently doing well. I mean, this guy's been, if you play this dude every week in like cash or something, like you're probably fine. They're throwing the ball a lot. Their defense is terrible, which is causing them to throw the ball a lot. Matt Ryan's a good quarterback, bottom line. So bounce back spot for Atlanta, who I think is like 1-4. I don't know. I know the record's not great, but I do like Matt Ryan a good amount. Prescott against the Jets, sure. Jared Goff's interesting against San Fran. I think people are going to lay off him. We know that over his career, he's been much better at home, and that's even been the trend so far this year. 16 and averaging 16.5 DraftKings points on the road and 23.9 at home. Last year we saw the same thing, so it's not like I'm just trying to run off of a 5-game sample and I'm like, oh yeah, Goff doing dirties at home. It's not like that. But I do think that this week he's very interesting in tournaments. I think people saw San Francisco's pass rush. They saw Baker couldn't do shit, and maybe they don't play Goff, especially if Cooks is out. Cooks is questionable. He's in like concussion protocol. But if you're not interested, and this game is like a 49 total. It's one of the highest on the slate. If you're not interested in Goff, you might as well just play the San Francisco 49ers defense. But in tournaments this week, I'll have to dig into Goff because it's definitely interesting if we're going to get him at low ownership. Let's see here. Carson Wentz, all these guys are fine. Nothing really pops out. Baker's 5,500, coming off of hopefully what it'll be. If you're a Browns fan, you're hoping that was the worst game of his career. I don't think it was like terribly. He just didn't have a chance against Seattle. Maybe he has a little bit more success. San Francisco was coming off a bye. They were super prepared. They were pumped up. Dalton against Baltimore is okay. Cousins is like pretty interesting for his price, 5,200. So Dalvin Cook has been smashing. He smashed again last week. Kirk Cousins did throw for 300 yards. Only threw 27 times. He was just really efficient. 81.5% completion percentage. The Philadelphia Eagles are a very heavy pass funnel defense. We know they are very good against the run. They don't let teams run. Dalvin Cook is a hard man to stop. So this is going to all come down to how well they can stop Dalvin Cook, which very few people have been able to do so far this year. But if they are able to somewhat stop Dalvin Cook, that's going to force Cousins to throw, and the Eagles secondary is just not good. Just not good. Minnesota is home, so you'd expect Cousins to be able to throw efficiently yet again in somewhat of a soft matchup. So I think Cousins is highly in play for tournaments. Gardner Minshew, 5K. What do we do with this dude, right? Like, this dude just smashed against Carolina. A pretty good defense at Carolina. Now he's home against New Orleans, which granted does have Marshawn Lattimore, but they've also struggled. I think Godwin had a baller game on him last week. We've seen receivers kind of blow him up. So I do think he's also in play. I'm going to start low so that it's easier for us to build a team, and I'm going to go with Cousins. I'm a little, you know me. I like the pass funnel junk. I'm going to go with that. I'd like to get Matt Ryan in. That would be the ideal, I think, for this example. Now, it's Tuesday, guys, so I may, hopefully you're just looking at this as like a walkthrough, kind of getting your wheels turning and whatnot, because things are going to change come Sunday. They always do. And, of course, you can find my article, my GPP Notes article, and watch our Wise stream, which is a live stream we do on Saturday at 12:30. It's usually me and Paulie. Last week it was me and Cam. Should be me and Paulie this week, but make sure you, check out our content over there. Get in the Slack chat for more updated stuff as we get closer to the week. As far as running back goes, so we don't have Christian McCaffrey. To be honest with you, after last week me fading him, which was just crucially bad. Just a wrong play to completely fade him. I should have had some. Like, I didn't tell anybody in my article to do it. I did say on the Y stream, somebody asked who my biggest fades were, and I just said I don't have any Christian McCaffrey, which was a disaster. I picked Zeke instead. The Jets defense has kind of been sneaky good, and this offensive coordinator is a piece of shit. Now, I understand Green Bay took a lead, but Kellen Moore just wants to throw. He was a quarterback in Boise State. He liked to air it out. Too short to really play in the NFL for real. He's like 5'10", 5'11", whatever. I'm 5'11", too, not hating. Just saying. Flutie Flakes, not you, Kellen Moore, throwing the ball way too much. Give the ball to Zeke, the guy you just paid, right? Only 12 carries, only 4 targets. He was very efficient in both, averaging 14.5 per reception. He only got to caught the ball twice, but averaging 5.2 on the ground. You don't want to give it to him. No, you're an idiot. Zeke definitely in play. Dalvin Cook. So for this example, I'm not using Cook. Again, nobody's been able to stop Cook. The Bears were probably the only good running defense he saw, and they weren't able to stop him. Atlanta hasn't been as bad against running backs since that game against Dalvin Cook. So again, like, I'm not going to use Cook in this example, but I think if I wasn't using Cousins as my quarterback, or if for any reason we were able to move up to, what's his name, I would have to consider him as like the default play because of how good he is. But again, Philly has been good against the run. They are a pass funnel in theory. You could stack them together. I don't hate that either. Cook was involved in the pass game. He's been more involved the last 2 games, so I don't hate the idea of it. But anyway, dropping 7s, doing dirties. Alvin Kamara, 8K. This does seem like a pretty good Kamara spot. They're on the road. Jacksonville's defense has been terrible, though. It's hard to pinpoint where it's going to come from. They've just been, pretty awful. But Kamara getting double-digit rushing attempts, not super efficient. Getting involved in the pass game, maybe on the road. Bridgewater relies on him more. David Johnson's questionable. This is pretty big because we can get Edmonds very low, and also I think it's going to make Fitzgerald, especially if Kirk is out, get like 1 million targets. So I think this is information we're going to need. He had a back issue. His availability isn't guaranteed for Sunday's game against the Falcons. The back issue did happen in that Cincinnati game, but he just kind of played through it. But we'll have to see and get more information. DJ seems like a fine spot. The price seems fair. Atlanta hasn't been awful against running backs this year, except for week 1 when Cook just, did dirties to him. But sure. So the first guy I'm drawn to, I'm really drawn to the 6K range. First guy I'm drawn to is Le'Veon Bell. I am a Jets fan. This isn't a homer move. It's all about the volume for me, man. Right? So Sam Darnold should be back. We don't know if he's back. If he's not back, I'm out. I'm out, and I'll probably play Zeke because I think that they'll just beat him to oblivion and Zeke will get a ton of carries. But assuming Darnold is back, he was almost back last week. I don't think the usage for Bell is necessarily going to stop. Last week we saw Aaron Jones just abuse this Dallas defense, and Le'Veon Bell is a much better player. It's all a matter of if they're going to give him the ball, and I think they will. 6,400 seems really low for a player that's getting that type of viggity volume, especially at home. I also liked in this range Mark Ingram. The Ravens are like 12 or 11 point favorites at home against Cincinnati. Cincinnati cannot stop the run. David Johnson did well last week. He could have done a lot better had he not gotten 1 touchdown vultured by Chase Edmonds. And also, man, I better look him up. I've been saying his name like, I want to make sure. Yeah, it is Chase Edmonds. Okay, yeah. But anyway, going back to Ingram at 6'6". The problem, not a ton of involvement in the passing game, which is like on DraftKings, we live by that. But this should be a good matchup. Baltimore, you figure, their defense is bad, so Cincinnati can definitely come out swinging. But Baltimore's offense is fairly good. They should be able to run the ball. They've been able to run the ball with a decent amount of success. Even against Cleveland, if you look here, Ingram averaged 5.9 yards a carry. He had a long of 18 yards. So he was just doing well on the ground. They just kind of, game script got away from him. They couldn't run it. If you think this game script can stay under control for Baltimore, Ingram seems like a pretty awesome play. And we know that running backs, home favored running backs typically do well. Todd Gurley's only 6,200. I think he's interesting at this point. San Francisco's defense is legit. Maybe there's some pressure on Goff. Maybe he has to check down and throw more to Todd Gurley. We did see against Tampa Bay, Gurley got 11 targets in the pass game. If he can get that again, that's what I'm saying. This tier right here is where it's at to me, at least on the first look. It just seems pretty deep. So Todd Gurley definitely in play, but never a guy you're going to consider a lot because the usage is just, you have no idea. Derrick Henry in a pretty good spot. I'm not a big Henry guy. On FanDuel, I feel more comfortable with him because he also gets no involvement in the pass game. But if I'm willing to do Ingram, maybe I should do Henry. Denver's defense has struggled against the run all year. They struggled last year against the run. They struggled this year. They're just not very good against the run. Eckler had like 10 catches last week, or maybe even more than that. But the difference is Eckler gets a lot of passes. Henry doesn't. But on FanDuel, for sure. On DraftKings, probably. Because Denver's bad against the run. But, and there's guys like Freeman, Carson. There's a lot of guys. Breida, who is pretty explosive. Chase Edmonds, I will definitely play a shit ton if David Johnson were to get ruled out. No doubt. I would place him. But for this example, we're just going to assume he's in. If that was the case, I would plug him in. But I'm just not going to touch that situation. So check us out at the WiseTake Nation to figure out what we do with that situation. For now, I'm going with Leonard Fournette. The usage, we talk about usage. His usage is incredible right now. He got 30 touches, over 30 touches in 2 straight games, or 30 or more, I should say, in 2 straight games. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not correct. Because he only caught 4 passes, so he technically got 27 touches. But they tried to get him 30, threw to him 7 times. I think the usage for him is massive. New Orleans defense, I'm really not that afraid of. I think Minshew's opening things up for Fournette by completing those plays down the field. And again, I like this price range here. So we got Le'Veon Bell, Ingram, Fournette. There was a couple guys I mentioned like Henry. That tier is deep. Now, don't get me wrong. If you want to jam in Zeke, if you want to play Dalvin Cook, I'm sure I'll have some of them this weekend too. But I'm just going through it now, and right now that range seems the most appealing, and it seems like it could be the most flexible. I'm going to plug in any defense. I'm not going to waste time with y'all on the defense. Do dirties, drop 7s. I was going to pick the Eagles, but I'm not going to pick them because I have Dalvin Cook in his lineup. I'm sorry, I have Cousins in his lineup. So we'll go with, I don't want to pick one that's going to be ridiculous. We'll go with Tennessee, I guess. Tennessee against Denver, even though I don't like that. Maybe I do like that. I don't know. All right, let's get tight end out of the way because receiver typically takes a little while. So Travis Kelce against Houston, sure. Except that he's 7K. That kind of sucks. He did get 10 targets, though, and if they're thin again, absolutely, right? If now Watkins has a hamstring injury, he's probably out. But I think Tyreek Hill is expected to practice at some point this week in full, so we'll have to wait on that. Zach Ertz is only 5,400. That's pretty tempting, especially in this build where we have Cousins already, and we'll probably end up taking at least one player to stack him with from Minnesota at least. So he's very interesting at 5,400. That price has come down. He even got a touchdown last week against the Jets, and had the Jets been competitive at all, maybe it would have been a little bit different. Just saying. Doing dirties. Doing dirties. Kittle, sure, I'm cool with it. Hooper, right? Come on. Hooper's usage is insane so far. This is a tight end that's actually involved in the offense, an offense that is throwing a lot. And he's in a nut matchup. Tyler Eifert just didn't get a whole lot going last week. The Bengals really didn't get a whole lot going until late in that game. Austin Hooper at 5K. It's interesting. We're looking at this it's a nut matchup. But if you look at who's around him, again, the 3 guys above him that are the 2 guys, I should say, above him that are close in price are tempting, right? I could see a double tight end week this week. I know we say that sometimes, but Ertz is a very tough guy to pass up on. Kelce could end up the only guy Mahomes is throwing to, really, consistently. Kittle, who had a bounce back week last week, certainly in another good spot. And that's just the top tier. I haven't even looked at the bottom. But you know what? I'm not gonna, because from where I'm standing, I think I'm just gonna grab hold. I'm just gonna grab hold of this. So, this is spread it out a little bit. If this was a main team I was building, I would strongly consider getting in. What's his name? Ertz. But we'll spread out our exposure a little bit for this particular show. All right, so we got Cousins. Who do we pair him up with? Well, if this was a tournament team and I'm going for massive ceiling, right, and I want Cousins to really ball out, I'm playing them both. Thielen had a monster game last week. Again, more about efficiency, right? They did win that game pretty comfortably. 2 touchdowns, 8 targets, squeaky wheel narrative. We get it. Doing dirties, dropping 7s. Diggs did not get a whole lot of work. I do tend to think this is a really, not tend to think, this is bottom line, this is a really good spot for Diggs. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to play them both, right? That's what we're going to do. I'm going to play them both. Now I'm going to go through receiver anyway. Julio Jones, I'm going to get some Julio this week. In this lineup, it would have been too difficult for me to jam him in at the moment. But yeah, I'm definitely going to play some Julio Jones. He's my favorite stud. Hopkins, I'm also good with. not getting the boatload of targets, but his price is starting to come down. I think at some point we're going to want to buy on that. Cooper Kupp, sure, especially with what's his name? If what's his name is out, damn it, Cooks, who's in concussion protocol right now, could be out. So if that's the case, yes, I will absolutely take some, and do dirties. Odell Beckham's only 6,800. I didn't even see this. Okay, this is ridiculous. Odell Beckham is 6,800. This caliber player who's got a 31 point, who's got really a higher ceiling than that. I understand their defense has been terrible. Their offense has been terrible. But Seattle's defense is not that good, especially not on the road across the country. Wow, I did not see that. I think I want to plug him in somehow. We'll see if it works. I love Thielen. I know I'm getting off the grid with this. This is just an example anyway, guys. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to buy. I didn't even notice that. Honestly, guys, I didn't even notice that. Holy shit. That's low. Larry Fitzgerald stands out. Yeah, especially if what's his name is out. We know that Kirk could be out. He missed last week. And then David Johnson's questionable. So Fitzgerald could end up getting a shit ton of targets, potentially. I told you Will Fuller's price is now 6K. McLaurin is now 6K. That's a game we'll talk about in depth during the week later. As far as like mega value, there could be some. So we've got that Pringle dude, right? That's potential value, I think. 9 targets against Indianapolis. Not sure where that came from. But, Watkins got hurt. But definitely potential here at 3,500. Keyshawn Johnson did not have a great game. But if we have all those injuries, he did get 7 targets against Cincinnati. Maybe at home, the targets are a little bit more efficient, doing dirty dropping 7s. But for this example, I will go simply with Mr. Auden Tate, who is not like we got. I think we got lucky last week. He kind of bailed us out. He was 3,500, so 11 was good enough, kinda. Ain't gonna be good enough this time. 11 ain't good enough. We need more from you. He hasn't done a ton. But he's on the road against Baltimore. Baltimore's defense does not look good. They've been suspect. And I do think that Tate is still getting a pretty decent amount of volume with some of the injuries that this team has sustained. We want to check the status of Ross. Matter of fact, we can do that real quick. I don't even remember what Ross was hurt with. Oh, he must still be out because he's not even a player. Is he on the IR? Maybe he's on the IR. Anyway, we'll just plug him in here for now. But there's a lot to consider. In the 4K range, I didn't even spend a lot of time there. We've got the Jets receiving core all priced for Darnold to basically be out. But this is just a first look lineup, just kind of going through it. I kind of like it. Diggs will be super low owned. Cousins should be fairly low owned. Our running backs, we took a very different approach, lived in that mid tier. This isn't 2 stars and scrubsy at all. We could probably do that. And if David Johnson's out, we'll definitely be able to do that. So we'll have to see what it looks like as we get closer to Sunday. But again, just a little tournament lineup, just kind of dropping 7s, doing dirties. Odell 6,800 is just so cheap. That's just wild. But anyway, Nation, that's going to do it for this particular show. As far as the contest goes, again, winner gets a t-shirt, a WiseTake t-shirt, and 1 month access, all access, including Slack chat, to WiseTake.com. And with all the sports, everything, we got NBA coming. It's just glorious. It's beautiful. We want to be a part of it. We got to like the video. Video has to get to 75 likes. We haven't done it. We've broken 50 once. Other than that, we haven't done it. I guess people just don't like free stuff. But anyway, if we can get up to 75 likes, and what we'll do is, if you leave a comment guessing the final score and winner of the Houston-Kansas City game. Houston-Kansas City gets the final score, guess the winner, and you will get a WiseTake shirt for free, along with a free 1 month membership to WiseTake.com, all access with Slack chat. Doing dirties, Nation. I'm trying to give stuff away. Need y'all to work with me here. All I'm asking is for 75 likes, which if you look around YouTube, 75 likes ain't shit, right? And for the DFS community, I get it, but come on. You can do it. I got faith in you. I got a ton of faith in you. All right, Nation, again, CK013. Follow me on Twitter. Hit me up on Twitter. Talk to me on Twitter at CK_013. And I'm from the WiseTake Nation. Follow us at WiseTake.com. For myself, the entire WiseTake Nation, as always, good luck.
Yeah.